Hello friends, today I'm going to talk about nested class, inner class, and how do we create them, and what is the purpose of having nested or inner class. If you are going for any Java job or interviews, this is one of the mostly asked topics that you would hear a lot during the interviews. So this is considered to be one of the important topic that you want to learn in order to learn the Java properly. So the main purpose of nested class or the inner classes is that you have ability to define different aspects within the same class. So you create a class, the class that is inside some other class is considered to be inner or nested class. The only thing that differentiates with a nested class and inner class is that a nested class is defined as a static. So inner class, which has a static keywords defined, is a static class. These static class are member of class, so that's why they are called nested class. You will have a class that is non-static. Non-static classes are called inner class. The way you would call these methods inside this nested class or inner classes are different, because inner classes is non-static and that inner class is a member as an instance member for the class, outer class. You will have to create an object first in order to call the class itself, and then created that object is then going to create a methods or members of that instance class from the inner class. As far as a nested class goes, when you create object, you don't need to create an object of outer class in order to call the nested class, because it's already static. So which means you can call that with the class outer class name itself, and then the methods associated to that nested inner class, nested class, you will be calling from the variables. So if you see here, there are two different examples how you call them out. So if you see, this is the nested class. If it's a nested class and you have a parent class which is called the fruits, outer class is a fruits, nested class is a mango. This mango is public static class mango. And then when I have a method, this mango has a method called eat. Okay, if I need to access this eat, or if I need to execute this application with the eat, I will have to define first outer class dot inner class name, create an object variable, then I would say new fruits, which is the outer class dot mango. As far as the inner class goes, I would first have to create an object as a f for fruits, okay, just like I do always. Then I would create the first part with the outer class dot mango, and then create an object variable equals. Here if you see, instead of new fruits, what I do is f dot new mango. That's how I would access the non-static, which means the inner classes, and then rest of those are same. If you see the class architecture, this is how it will be defined. There are no limits on how many nested class you can create or inner classes you can create. Other thing you need to understand is these inner classes can be private, they can be protected. Only thing other different is this: if it is a nested class, it will only take the static variables. Inner classes can access static as well as non-static variables. Okay, so these are the facts you need to understand when you create a nested or inner classes. Now what is the purpose of having these type of classes, having classes inside classes? The main topic is you are trying to create a different features out of same class that contains all different type of features you want to define, then you go with the nested class concept. The next one is you want to limit that without having any object of any classes. You don't want to create have an access for these classes. You want to go for inner classes, which means you have no static keywords there. More or less, long story short, is having nested or inner classes is that you want to make it code clean and make it more readable, and for clarity purpose sometimes these are very helpful. So after going through this, let's go through quick examples and then you can get better understanding. I'm going to create a new class here. This class I'm going to call fruits. Okay, this is the fruits class. I'm going to create a main method here. I'm going to create an object of this class, outer class. So this is the our class. So I'm going to create next thing is here. Let's see what happened here. So after that, let's go ahead and do some more work here. I don't need this. This is already defined. So let's go ahead and create some inner classes. I'm going to create some fruits here. So public, I can create this as a private, public, protected, however I want. Okay, these are the inner classes. So public class mango. This is the mango, and I have here a method. Okay, I created the mango here, class mango. That the class mango, this is the inner class. It has no static keyword. Okay, this is the inner class. I'm going to create a copy of this. Okay, I can create this. Let's say orange. I'm going to create another class which is called apple. For apple, I'm going to create a nested, which is just by the static keyword. I don't have to, but I can create this with the static. We'll do that later. Okay, so I have this method here. So now what I do, let me write this as an apple. Okay, this is orange. Now next thing, let's see. If you have, this is a static body, so let's go outside, create some instance variable, string fruit type. Okay, so if I get this fruit type, this is an instance variable. It has nothing, no static on it, so it means it is an instance methods is instance thing can access them. So in nested, not the nested but the inner classes are also instance for this fruits, so they can have direct access to this. So if you see here, I can get that fruit type equals sweet. Okay, you can have direct access to this, right? So if you come here, same thing, this is the orange, so orange also can have, you can redefine that, sour. Okay, you can have direct access to these variables and define however you want. They can work differently. And this is from the outer class label, right? You are directly accessing them. But this one is a static class. Here, just try to get this. If you want to get this here in the static class, you cannot. Let's try to get this here. Look, it says fruit type cannot be here. It has to be static, right? Because static member cannot access them. So we'll need to get this defined later, or we may not even do this. We'll do that when you go for static. So right now my purpose is that how do I access these methods to be called into the main method so that I can run them. Otherwise I cannot run, right? So if I need to access these inner classes first thing I need to get that with the help of this object here. If you see fruit, that is the one which is going to help me. So let me go ahead and create that object the way you create dot mango equals, right? Then I would do again fruit, the object dot new, and then mango. Right now mng dot eat mango. This is because non-static and it's an inner class. That's how I would do it. And then let's copy a couple of things. So for orange I do the same thing. For orange I do the same thing, right? Orange, I can have orange as a private too. This does not make any difference here. But for mango, if you see, sorry, but for apple, because it is a static, okay, they are different here. Because if it's a static, you would call that directly from here instead of this object, okay? You would be just calling here directly dot mango. Then okay, so now you can do apple dot eat apple. So now if you see, the difference here is this is the static, this is the nested class where you'd be calling new and then you do fruits directly from fruits dot apple, because apple is static, so which means it is a static member, class member, so class can directly access them, right? And then this variable, because the method here is non-static, right? So method is non-static, so you will be calling that from the object. Now let's go ahead and create one more nested class. Okay, so this time I need to say this is a banana. But I need to make this static. So if you see here, banana is the static, right? Banana is a static. I would say no, not like this. Here. So if you see here, I have an apple, I have an orange. Orange has private class, apple is a nested class, public. This is a public static class, banana. Apple has a non-static method, banana has a static, so banana is also static, it also contains static method. So for banana I don't need anything here. this is a nested class, this is a static class, I can directly access them. This is the static class, this is non-static method inside the nested class. That's how I would access them. For non-static, which is called inner classes, that's how you do. You need to call from the object of the outer class. Okay, so don't get confused with all these four different things. And other thing you need to understand is you can define the nested classes or inner classes with the private protected, that's fine. But only the thing you need to know is if it's a nested class, which means the class is static, then it cannot access the instance variables. It has to be static variables, which means it has to be class level variables. For non-static classes like this, it can have direct access to fruit type. Here if you see fruit type, it is the instance variable. You can redefine them however you want. So if you see from this point, you have all different features on the fruits. Orange, apple, all are different features, right? But they are with the category of fruit. So it gives you all different type of product specifications. That's the main purpose you would use for inner classes, for nested classes, the way you want to define them. Okay, I hope this video has been very helpful for you to understand the concept of inner classes and nested class, and I hope this video will help you moving forward. Thank you very much for continuing to watching my videos. Please, if you like this video, subscribe my channel and support my channel. Thank you very much. We look forward on next video.